Hey guys, I'm here today to talk to you about Black Ops 3. We just got a reveal trailer for it, and you guys may not know this because it doesn't really show in my videos, but I love shooters. Call of Duty, Gears of War, Halo, Garden Warfare, Titanfall, just shooters in general. I love them. They're so much fun, and there's just something about it that makes me go crazy. It's just great. But that's for another time. Now, today I'm here to give you all of the information I've learned about Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I've done my research and I've learned a little bit, and there is some really awesome stuff that seems to be coming out from this trailer. To see it, you really have to look in depth into it and really do some research from other people who've actually been able to go to Treyarch, play the multiplayer already, and see how the game is at the moment. Now, there are some really cool things that weren't shown in the trailer that I do know from doing a little bit of research, like custom skins for your guns. Yeah, like the emblem editor, but for your guns. You can make camos now, so you can edit the left side, the right side, and the back of your gun that you'd be able to see. And you can make your own custom skins for the gun. Now, this means that there's going to be a lot of penises. And that's obviously going to happen, but there's going to be some really cool stuff. I can already imagine it, just crazy designs and lots of penises. But moving on to the actual trailer, from what we've seen, the game is not going to have exosuits. That's one thing a lot of people were worried about, was exosuits, because I guess a lot of people didn't like it in Advanced Warfare, though I personally thought it was awesome. The added speed to the game is something I really enjoyed, but this is coming from someone who really enjoys Halo, and that game is a little bit more fast-paced, and I was also into Unreal Tournament, and that game is some of the most fast-paced stuff you can play besides Quake. Now, this game does have somewhat exo abilities. There is a thruster pack that everyone's going to have, but it is much slower and not as fast as the double jump was in Advanced Warfare. Now, it's basically going to be like a jetpack. If any of you play Halo, it's more like the jetpack from Halo, where you press and hold the A button and then you fly up into the air, and the longer you hold it, the higher you fly up. And from what I understand, there's a type of movement meter which doesn't coordinate to your sprinting. It coordinates to different moves that you have in the game, as in your thruster pack, being able to fly a certain height, and power sliding now, which is an ability that allows you to slide a certain distance very quickly. Not like Advanced Warfare, where you could double tap and dash in any which way direction. It's more of like a power slide, like you're rocking out with a guitar and you just go, and you can have your gun out and shoot while you're in it, and it'll take up a portion of your movement meter, and then if you run out of it, you can't do that anymore until it regenerates. It's a cool idea, and I love it, and it's going to help a lot of people who didn't like Advanced Warfare's really fast movement, because from what I've seen and understand, the gameplay is going to be slower and more on the ground than Advanced Warfare was. It's going to be more like Black Ops 2 than Advanced Warfare. You're going to be on the ground more, sprinting more, but with hints of jumping and boosting up to higher platforms and being able to wall run. Though, if you have the choice to wall run or walk on the ground, you're going to choose to walk on the ground, because from what I can understand, wall running is really just to get to places faster. You don't want to be caught in that position while you see someone else, because they're going to definitely have the upper hand on you when you're in that position. And another really cool aspect that's been added in, swimming. Even in multiplayer matches, there's going to be certain areas where you can dive into the water and swim and then still shoot and fight people while you're underwater. It's going to be, it looks sweet, and it's actually in the trailer, you can see it, and it shows up, and most people would just think this is a single player thing, but this is a multiplayer map, and what happens is you dive into the water, it shows a one-on-one gunfight, and then you boost out of the water and your arm just transforms into a machine gun. Now, this isn't something that's just going to be like standard, like I can transform my arm at any time and just blast people away in multiplayer. It's going to be more like Destiny's superpowers that you have in multiplayer. if for any of you who've played Destiny, when you're doing multiplayer matches, the more kills you get, the higher amount of power you get. And once you have your bar full, you can do your super ability. And there's 4 talked about so far in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. The first being the arm machine gun. These are different specialist classes that you can choose on your loadout and start out as, and it also affects what your character will look like in the game. Now, the first is the arm one, which has your arm transformed into a giant machine gun. The next is a crossbow, which can be seen in the trailer, where you shoot the crossbow, and the longer you charge it, the more damage it does. It can even hit the person, send them flying back, explode, and kill even more people. The next is double spikes, kind of like in Destiny, where you jump up in the air and come crashing down to the ground, and you just destroy everyone around you. And the last is, again, a lot like the Golden Gun from Destiny, where you have this giant revolver and you blast people away with this thing, and it's a one-shot kill, but it has a huge reload time. I don't know exactly how long these supers last, and if it's just till your ammo ends, or if you have like a time limit. That's not really understood right now, but there are going to be kind of these super special abilities that you will get in the game depending on what class loadout you take, which will really change up the game, and it'll add some really cool stuff to it. There's also some nice looking guns. Everything looks really futuristic and cool, and it really does get me a little bit upset because I was hoping to see something go back to World War II, because we really haven't had a Call of Duty game back there in a long time. But I guess they are just continuing on to the Black Ops story that we already have, and it would make sense to go into the future. 2060 to be exact. That's when the game's taking place. And the campaign is going to have 4-player cooperative movements, which is going to be awesome. Being able to play 4-player co-op on story mode will really immerse isn't the right word, but really just make the single player experience that much better, because running through it by yourself was always kind of boring, but being able to hop in with 3 of your friends and just blast things away will be awesome. Also, zombies. This is something that people have been interested about and wanting to know if it's come back, and it is. There isn't pretty much anything known other than a few things that have been mentioned, that there's going to be an experience system to it. You'll be able to rank up in zombies exclusively and get new stuff and new progression to make it different every time. There's also going to be a story for zombies, like a separate story for the zombie part of the game, which will be amazing, hopefully. And it's said to be bigger and better than any zombies so far, so they've probably realized that zombies is a big attraction to their game, and they've put a lot of time and effort into this time around, which is great. Now, I'm kind of thinking that's about it, but if it's not, then I'm going to probably jump cut, because I really want to talk about everything, and there's my phone. I really want to talk about everything, so I'm going to check if I forgot anything. If not, here's the jump cut. There's no jump cut. I pretty much got everything, other than 2 interesting facts. One interesting fact. The game is going to be coming out on a Friday, which is really interesting since Call of Duty in most games always run to a Tuesday release date. I'm not exactly sure why it's always been like that, and I was like, why don't they do it on the weekend? Because then kids have the school off and they can get the game and then they can play the crap out of it. But I think it has to do with something with Tuesday is when sales week ends, and then they have a whole week to run their sales numbers before they have to release how much they made in that week. So if they did it Friday, then they only have till Tuesday to kind of see how much they've tallied up in that sales week. It'll be interesting to see how it goes, but it is going to be November 6th, 2015 is the release date that we're seeing right now from leaked posters and stuff like that. My phone keeps going off and I forgot to turn it off. But from what we can see, that's going to be a release date, and if you pre-order, you will get into the beta, multiplayer beta for the game, which I kind of want to do, but I don't have an Xbox One to be able to do it, so it's not going to happen. Now, the last thing I have to talk about is that this video's done. I will see you guys in the next video.